Hello, I'm Tracy Grimshaw. Welcome to A Current Affair. First tonight, inside Australia's baby school. Toddlers just 18 months old, already studying maths, English, even foreign languages. Dan Nolan's been following this story and joins me live. Dan?
Thanks, Tracy. This is a Japanese program that aims to stimulate babies' brain development, but it's part of a growing focus on Asian education ideas taking root across Australia. The results speak for themselves. Every year in almost every state, students from Asian backgrounds dominate the high school honour roll. So, what's the secret?
How many ballerinas do you think there are here? There are 78, 78, 78, 78, 8, 9, 9, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Up by 3.
The first 3 years, it's really important because up to 80% of the brain is basically developed by the time you're 3 years old.
Uruguay, Papua New Guinea, New Zealand, Australia.
It's never too young. I think we underestimate the intelligence of babies.
This is Nemo with 16, 17, 18, 19.
It's very competitive. Kids start quite early. Kids are smart.
Look carefully.
Well, my school's homework only is one page. I can finish it in 5 minutes.
Tonight, we take a look at education with Asian inspiration.
Statistically, we see that particular Asian cultures are more successful in school.
To find out if it's ever too young to start learning.
17, 18.
Nathan is able to count to 30 by himself, and that's quite extraordinary.
How much study is too much?
We have kids who are suffering from severe anxiety disorders at age 4 or 5 because they're being asked to do things that they're not developmentally ready for.
And what is the ideal role for parents?
We are trying to say to the extreme end of the tiger parents to say, relax.
They're waiting patiently for class to begin, but these kids are not quite 2 years old.
Okay, welcome, come in.
Their average age is just 18 months, but some have been coming since they were 5 months old. It's called Shichida Education, a Japanese program trying to stimulate babies' brain development.
Good morning,
The welcome song is sung in Japanese, but the rest of the class is in English.
How's the weather? It's sunny.
Only the odd pupil has this song down pat. The rest are active observers. They claim to be stimulating the right side or creative part of the brain.
Oink, 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 oink. How many pigs are there? There are 18, 18, 18, 18, 18.
These are flashcards, giving kids under a second to take in an image.
6, 6, 6, 7, 7, 7, 8, 8.
Anything from numbers
All right, we're going to start with world flags.
to world flags.
Paraguay, Bolivia, Uruguay, Papua New Guinea, New Zealand, Australia, Chile, Argentina.
Teacher Hanako Ward is Japanese-Australian herself.
So it's meant to be like they're watching TV, they're just not thinking too much about it, they're relaxed watching it, just absorbing it. And they might not be able to say that's 10 right away, but eventually it'll connect in their minds.
She says the results from some of the famous artwork flashcards are especially impressive.
Mums have mentioned to me that their child has pointed at a postcard or a painting and recognised it and said that's Picasso. Beautiful.
The kids here come from different backgrounds, but many are attracted by the Shichida education values.
Discipline, that's a big factor for us, and just the way they do the right brain training, I think is very functional.
Jyla has been coming since she was 5 months old. Dad Khan says she's doing really well.
This is obviously helping her, and we put her against other children, and she's doing a lot better than those other children her age.
Like many of these tots, 16-month-old Jyla is already learning more than one language.
Jyla speaks Spanish, French and English at home. Not many words, but she's getting there.
At home she's spoken to in Greek, English, Tibetan and Spanish.
Kira is Buddhist. She has 2 Tibetan nannies at home to increase daughter Tara's language capacity.
She was named by His Holiness the Dalai Lama when she was in my womb, direct, so Tara Tenzin Droma. So that's why Tibetan is one of the most important languages for her to hopefully pick up.
She too has been coming to these weekly classes since she was 5 months old.
I think we underestimate what babies absorb in their intelligence, and I think they're very ready. So it can't do any harm anyway. It's great, she loves it.
And if they know from a young age that learning is fun, and that's what we're trying to do with the program. We're not trying to create little geniuses or anything, we want them to love learning.
But there are some little geniuses in the group. Nathan is just 18 months old, but can count like he's ready for kindy.
1.
He can usually count to 30, but for our camera, makes it up to 20.
18. 19. 20.
And that's just in English. He can also count to 10 in Mandarin.
Sure. Well done,
He even says words like octopus.
Octopus. After 12 months, I've definitely noticed that his verbal skills have increased significantly.
Mum Melita is a third-generation Australian of Chinese background. She says she's certainly not a tiger mum.
If they like it, they like it. If they don't, they don't. I mean, my view is never to pressure or push. You just introduce, and if they take to it, that's great.
I was very hard with my kids when they...
Amy Chua is the definitive tiger mum.
I think I'm just like any other parent out there.
The Chinese-American author's best-selling book, Battle Hymn of the Tiger Mother, listed the rules she imposed on her children. No sleepovers, no playdates, no TV or computer games, and no marks less than an A.
When they brought home a 96, I'd say, great job, but can we check out the last 4 points? What happened there?
And that's one of our classes there.
Xiaoling Lim regularly gets the tiger mum comparison at parent-teacher interviews.
They probably think that I would have overworked my child or forced my child like a typical tiger mum.
She brought the Shichida program to Australia and has seen a few tiger mums in her time. Her message for them is simple.
Relax. Children, they can be self-motivated to want to learn. They can love learning. They do not need to be forced.
We've got a triangle.
But she does believe Aussie students can learn a thing or two from some Asian education values.
Here we go. 1.
I think one of the things is definitely the emphasis on education within the family. So it's a value. It is a family value that parents will say, you know, this is important for you.
Our student honours list carries more Asian surnames each year. A Fairfax study of HSC results in New South Wales found students of Asian backgrounds were 4 times more likely to make the overall honour roll and 30 times more likely to make it for maths. Selective schools catering for only the smartest hand-picked students are much the same. 97% of kids at Sydney's James Roos Agricultural High have a language background other than English. At Melbourne High, the figure is 83%.
Open your booklets, girls and boys.
To make it into one of those selective schools, many students come here to after-school tutoring. On their first day back at school, these dedicated Year 6 students are here after class for extra tuition.
Some parents can be very pushy where they think that, yes, my child is the smartest child and he or she has to make it into selective school.
Yes.
Sarika Singh is the coordinator of the pre-uni college. She says they work with parents to understand what their best role is. She claims 80% of their students make it into selective school as long as they're ready to work.
It's a lot of hard work. Parents are quite committed, kids are quite committed, and we've got passionate teachers who put in a lot of efforts as well.
Among the students is 12-year-old Hannah. She moved here from the Philippines and does 2 of these 2-hour classes every week.
When I'm doing my work, I can do it confidently and not with pressure on me. And 4 hours in a week isn't that hard for me to handle.
Dhruv wants to be an aircraft engineer and says the extra hours are easy to manage.
And school homework doesn't take long, it only takes me half an hour. So then I have more time to study on my tuition homework.
Sienna is in Year 2 and says she has no problems handling the extra study.
Well, my school's homework only is 1 page. I can finish it in 5 minutes. So before dinner, I just finish it all off, and if I don't understand anything, I ask my mum and dad.
Yeah, so what do you think, JR? What's happening?
JR is also in the Year 2 class and has no trouble comprehending the missing word in this logic exercise.
Yeah, adding A after
after they eat, it would make it beat. I enjoy doing English and maths, but maths is the hardest because you have to do like division.
Dad Jerome says he's seen a dramatic improvement since JR started coming here in kindy.
You know, training in this particular area in moderation is extremely important because it allows them to be more confident, allows them to absorb things a lot easier and as a result perform a lot better.
Like many of these kids, JR also fits regular sport into the weekly schedule too.
I think it's important that as a parent you do everything that you can, provide them with all the opportunities, whether that be in extra training in sport, extra training in academia.
But for many families, sending your kids to extra tutoring is considered too much or somehow cheating to get ahead. But at the same time, spending hours at after-school sport is just the norm, especially if they're naturally good at it.
We have to recognise that we are being inconsistent when we are willing to nurture some gifts and we're not willing to nurture others.
Professor Wilma Viala is an expert in education psychology at the University of Wollongong. She agrees that families of Asian background generally place a greater emphasis on the importance of education and wishes Australian culture could value maths as much as sport.
Sport achievement is something that has a ready audience, and if you're fantastic at mathematics, there isn't that same ready audience sitting at Rod Laver Arena to see what your next mathematical proof is going to be.
There certainly is a risk of pushing children too far.
Associate Professor Michael Nagel is an expert in child brain development. He says pushing kids too hard too soon can elevate stress levels, making learning impossible.
And we have kids who are suffering from severe anxiety disorders at age 4 or 5 because they're being asked to do things that they're not developmentally ready for.
All of the teachers and parents we spoke to are focused on getting the balance just right.
There is a lot of pressure in Year 12, yes.
Chinese-born student Jamei Liu got that balance perfect, blitzing her Year 12 studies with a tertiary admission rank of 98.95.
That work ethic was probably from my dad, and the encouragement, just the soft, nourishment and encouragement, try your best without stressing, that sort of thing. That was more from my mom.
For right side of a doghouse, for left side of a doghouse.
Even though they start kids very young at Shichida, coordinator Xiaoling Lim says there's never any pressure at all.
Yes, children should just be children. However, that first few years of their lives and what's going on up there in terms of their development is too much of a waste to just neglect that altogether and leave it till later.
Well, this notion that somehow, again, you can hyperstimulate or improve a child's brain in the early years by getting them to do certain things has not been supported by any evidence.
At $57 per class, the Shichida program doesn't come cheap. Associate Professor Michael Nagel says parents can help their child just as much for free.
You need to spend time with your children. You need to read to them. You need to talk to them. You need to enjoy the world around them with them.
They're important decisions for parents to make. What a great story. And for more information on those programs, just visit our website.